Hello, everybody. Welcome to Generation Gap. My name is Gretchen Fabiani, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tom.
And I'm Tom Galise, and I'm joined by my co-host, Gretchen Fabiani.
We're here today to talk about 1996's crime film, Fargo.
You all remember Fargo, right?
I actually didn't. So the first time I saw Fargo was prepping for this.
Oh, wow.
It's been on the list for a long time of movies I should get around to see, but I wasn't a Coen Brothers fan until I saw Raising Arizona maybe last year.
Oh.
And after that, I forgot this was them until I saw their names in the opening credits, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the rest of the tone fell in line with that.
That's funny, and that's the generation gap, because these are films I have to rewatch to discuss because I've seen them so long ago. Raising Arizona is another great one. Yeah, this was one of my favorites.
Where'd you see it? Did you see it theatrically?
I saw it at the theater, yep.
Okay, what'd you think? First time?
I loved it, yeah, I really did. I thought it was pretty much a perfect film. And I was surprised. I saw a lot of other actors cite this as a perfect film. You know,
it was a big deal.
Yeah.
We were discussing right before we started. Fargo did win several awards in '96. One of which was Best Actress in a Leading Role for Frances McDormand, and they also won Best Academy Award for Writing the Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
Which I think the screenplay was also the Coens.
Yeah.
I'm not a big crime fan in general when it comes to film. So if a movie is good in spite of it, it wins me over. And this is an example of a film really winning me over actually before the opening credits were over with.
Wow.
I really enjoyed the opening credits. We're living in an era of film now where I feel like we don't have them anymore.
Yeah, that's true, right.
So,
Yeah, it just goes right to the film.
I actually really enjoyed the creative way that they put that together. Artistically done.
Yeah, it was. That's kind of a lost art, I think, today, right? They kind of go right to the film, and then the credits just come up later. And yeah, it used to be fun to see. Sometimes you'd see names that you didn't know were in the film, even, you know?
And I think it's a big tone setter, which is in this case. You definitely see a lot of it's a very minimalist film in terms of the way it's shot. It doesn't really go out of its way to make anything really flashy in terms of camera work. It's actually overly simple, but there are a few shots that I think are really good. The overhead shot, the scene of the car in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
That is actually took me aback. I actually had to stop it and look at it for a minute because I didn't really know what I was looking at first. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, bird's eye view. And it is, because even the opening credits there, it's mostly just white, you know? There's not really too much color in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to approach the tone of this. It's a lot of the Coen movies are we mentioned Raising Arizona, and I've also seen True Grit by them. They're very dry.
Mm-hmm. I think what they do, which I like, and which is also more realistic, is that even in something as serious as, say,
Murder.
Murder or kidnapping a child, like in Raising Arizona, they put humor in there because, let's face it, in real life, every situation there's some sort of humor, or it can be found, or some people say something that we might, that might strike us as funny. Yeah. Nothing in life is really either all drama or all comedy. There's a good blend.
I think the thing that struck me most about Fargo specifically was the dry way that these worlds bump up against each other. So if we're gonna go in, we should go into a little bit about what it's about.
Yeah.
Fargo is the story of a guy, a car salesman, who tries to run the scheme by faking the abduction of his wife. He hires these two criminals, is it Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare,
right,
to abduct his wife and hold her for ransom, which he plans on taking from his father-in-law.
Right. His father-in-law is well-to-do and doesn't really seem to be impressed at all with William H. Macy.
No, they're both kind of awful.
They are.
They're really, yeah.
Yeah, terrible people. Nothing really likable about the father-in-law, but you don't know if it's because he doesn't really care for William H. Macy either, right? Yeah. Or his daughter's choice of William H. Macy.
Pretty much instantly, the second that William H. Macy's character arranges these two criminals to abduct his wife, everything starts going sideways from the get-go.
Immediately, yeah.
Nothing goes right, and what was supposed to be a bloodless,
right,
really extortion results in the deaths of 3 people before the night's over with, and a total of 7 deaths by the end of the film.
Right.
And spoilers, his own arrest.
Yes.
It does not go well.
Yeah. It is crazy how out of control it gets.
Yeah, actually, it starts spiraling very quickly.
And yet you'll find yourself laughing at certain scenes. You know,
They really go out of their way to show you, like, immediately watching these two, because these two criminals, they're not a well-oiled machine.
No.
They hate each other.
Right.
And they're both very unstable.
No, absolutely.
And you get that immediately. And, like, the first scene, Steve Buscemi is already questioning him, well, why aren't you doing all these... Well, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Yeah.
William H. Macy is such a... just a weasel.
No,
he's just spineless.
I can't think of a better word than, he's so unlikable, yet he plays the part so well.
He's so... Honestly, it's watching his performance is one of the most interesting in the film, because he's spiraling. He's trying to hold together the seams of his plan as he's watching it fall apart.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the improvisational intelligence to fix anything once it starts collapsing.
Yeah. He's almost like he's not even a player in his own scheme. Like everything kind of is out of his control. Almost,
he sets it all up.
Sets it all up, and then it just really spins out of control regardless.
Dominoes.
And he's just such a pathetic character. You don't even know how to respond to him. And yet he's always smiling. He's always trying to present this good guy, affable sort of demeanor with all this stuff going on behind the scenes.
I think that's locational too. So Fargo is set largely in the Midwest. Right. We're both East Coast people, but the Midwest has that reputation of, like, nicety.
Yeah.
And which the accents... I couldn't tell at first. I'm like, is this Canada? Where?
Yeah, I know.
But
they all do it really well.
Like,
like you would think they're really from that region. Like even Bill Macy is like his accent is great.
He's constantly got this really uncomfortable smile, like it's not quite fitting.
Yeah, it's like a doll. It's like Howdy Doody. It's like a doll smile.
It doesn't.
It's like fixed.
And
but no warmth, no humor.
No. His relationship with his wife and his son, even, like, there's no redeeming quality in this guy.
Sadly, nothing. You almost want there to be. Like, I kind of wanted to like him, but there's just nothing. You can't even find sympathy for him.
At a certain point, I kind of give up and just really hoped everything went badly.
And you don't even really know what motivates him. Maybe it's
money.
His father-in-law, money. Like, maybe because he doesn't have as much as his father-in-law, but he could have a decent job. If he just worked hard and steady.
I think the implication is that he was lost a bit in decisions that he's made. If you watch, even when he's not actively engaging in this criminal scheme, he spends his time, like, actually working at the car dealership, scrounging and trying to swindle people, really. People can see that's what he's doing. He's not exactly a person that has a lot of people on his side.
Right, and we can all relate to that because there's scenes where at the delership where he's like, okay, so I'm going to get you the undercoating or whatever it was.
And they don't want it.
And the guy doesn't want it, and then he's like, okay. I can't believe he made this deal with me. We're gonna knock $100 off the undercoating. He just doesn't understand. I don't want the undercoating, or the sealant, whatever it was. I think
he understands it. I think
he does.
Being a businessman.
Right. But the customers are like, how do you not get this? I don't want it at all.
My dad works at a car dealership, actually, so I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
Actually, so by the end of the first night, the two criminals do succeed in abducting William H. Macy's wife. They take her out, and while they're on the highway, they get pulled over by a cop. They shoot the cop.
Yeah.
And then...
and you gotta say, too, because Steve Buscemi's character is so oily.
Carl, he's so...
Yeah. He just, instead of just... he says, like, let me handle this. I can. This will be easy. And it could be easy. But he takes, like, a $50 bill or something out of his wallet, leaves it out. He's like, if maybe we could just settle this right now. And the guy's like, sir, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And like, why is he doing that? Like, it would have been a simple situation, but nothing can be simple.
No. And actually, what I thought was interesting, too, is in that scene, like, the first time that somebody does get killed, which actually shocked me. Buscemi looks repulsed.
Yeah, stunned. Repulsed is a good word.
He recoils from it. He's just, like, he's a criminal, but he doesn't necessarily want the bloodshed.
Right, and it looks like he didn't realize how dangerous his partner was.
Yeah,
we don't really know how were they thrown together. Like, there's really no backstory. You don't know how they even know each other. They seem, like you said, to hate each other.
Really,
Why are they even together?
Peter Stormare is comes across as a strong silent type initially, and it becomes clear that he is easily the more dangerous of the two.
Yeah.
Buscemi's the mouth. He's got
Right.
He's constantly talking.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
read somewhere.
movie.
I think Stormare has 19 words, maybe
Something like that.
and Buscemi has like 170. I forget the exact numbers,
Yeah.
but it's not even close.
And Buscemi gets out of the car to dispose of the cop's body. Two passerbys in a car drive by, and Stormare goes after them, runs them off the road, and kills them both.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's at the 30-minute mark-ish.
Right.
33 minutes into the movie,
You haven't even seen Frances McDormand yet.
Yep, we're introduced to her. Like I think they said 33 minutes into the film.
Yeah, yep. Jeez. Yeah, you're already like, oh my gosh, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty. The violence isn't really. I mean, you know, it's there. It's not really shown explicitly. Not much, I don't think. But
It's not super gory.
But again, it's the couple that Stormare catches. It's a young looking couple.
Yeah,
a young girl and a young guy.
It's sad.
Yeah, and
Just because they saw something.
just because they saw something that they wish they hadn't, you know.
So the scene that introduces Frances McDormand, she's a cop. She's heavily pregnant, and married to her husband Norm, who I just enjoy. He's in the scene.
Oh, he's great,
Yeah,
too.
he's in the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
for like 2 scenes. I just really enjoy
Yeah,
him.
yeah. And every scene they're in, they're either eating or they're in bed or, you know, some variation.
I feel like these two really love each other.
in
in a very
yeah.
comfortable way.
Yeah, and it's funny because she's so sweet to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what he does, you know, but he's not. She's solving a criminal,
Yeah.
really complicated criminal case, and she's still building him up.
Mm-hmm.
He's entering pictures or something, or
Yeah, for a
photographs
stamp.
into a contest or for a stamp. Yeah,
There's that scene at the end of the movie, and it is the last scene in the movie where she is talking to him about his stamp, and she's like
Yeah.
encouraging him, like congratulating him.
Yeah.
Not even in a condescending way.
Right.
But she's just
So
genuinely
sweet.
like, yeah, like
So
good job.
sincere, yeah,
She just
yeah.
caught caught a genuinely dangerous criminal,
Yeah.
solved this big case, and
Yeah.
she's still like
and
that's
she's praising him about
that's
his
so
little
cool.
stamp, photo, and it's really.
I love them.
But yeah, it shows her character, you know.
My favorite scene in the movie is the scene where they're getting breakfast and the camera stays. It's almost like a split screen where you can see him eating at the table and you can see her go outside. You can watch through the window in the door where she goes outside, gets in the car, and then comes back inside and needs the car jump. That whole thing is done in one take, watching
Yeah.
her go outside through that door, and I just really liked the way it was done.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just fun.
Yeah, yeah, really. And again, it all feels very real.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
who does that in a film? Like,
Mhm.
it's unnecessary, but it's real.
Yeah,
You know, you need a jump.
especially in cold weather.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Another thing I thought was a fun subversion. We've all seen the cop that throws up at the scene of a really
Right.
violent crime.
Right.
She leans over
Yeah, it's great.
and she looks like she's going to, and then she stands back up and she's like, "Oh, it's morning sickness."
Yeah.
And
Like,
she
get
walks
past-
off. She's so cool.
Yeah, and then she's like, get past, you want to go get breakfast?
Yeah, she's phenomenal,
She
by the
is.
way.
She is great.
It goes without saying because she did win Best Actress for this. But she is so grounded. She really grounds the movie because she's the calm that the film keeps returning to.
Right.
When it cuts away, it's 1 billion crazy things happening.
Yep.
And then it cuts back to her relative normalcy as she's putting this together.
And she's still so cheerful.
Yeah.
And she's still doing that accent too, which, again, I don't know how easy it is to act and do an accent, She's
Yeah.
very convincing. Like, that's not her real voice, like, not her real.
I wish I'd seen her in more things. We talked about Blood Simple before this.
Right.
She was in that, also a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah.
I really haven't seen her in much.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go and look into more for things.
Yeah. Well, she's always watchable. Even in small parts, like in Blood Simple, she's not really big in that, but she's something to watch.
Mm-hmm. There's some really famous, iconic stuff in this movie. Before I started it, I knew it was the movie with the pregnant cop,
Right.
and I knew it was the movie where Steve Buscemi got fed to a woodchipper.
Yeah,
Those are the
right.
only two things that I knew
Yeah.
going into this film. And I was waiting the whole movie for the woodchipper.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they made me wait.
Oh, and it
until
delivers,
in the end.
It's like, yeah.
It
Oh.
did.
That's a bloody scene.
I can see that. That'd be pretty.
But even her, again, her
Unsettling.
character, it's such a great character,
Stone
so well
cold.
written. Even when she's like, and so that's your buddy in the woodchipper there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the way she says that.
I
love that.
I genuinely really like how she is a cop who, like a character, really, because that could be played hard
Yeah.
so easily, and she never does. She
No.
doesn't lose her,
Humanity.
her soft edge.
Yeah.
She's a nice person,
Right, yeah.
and she's also a good cop.
Right.
And those two things don't cancel each other out. She's not, even when she does apprehend, at the end, Stormare is the only one of the criminals who's left alive.
Right.
She she's
questioning
almost
him.
scolds him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
why?
Why are you doing this?
Why would you have done this? Yeah, all these deaths for what?
Yeah.
Some money, you know?
Yeah.
And she's obviously not material at all. And that's also a really cute part of the film is their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know? They're just like going out to eat, kind of junky food even, you know, but they seem very happy. They're eating in bed, watching TV. It's very homey, you know?
You don't notice, I didn't notice this until after. You actually don't know what happens to the money.
Yeah, no.
It's not really
I imagine in
relevant.
the spring thaw, someone's going to find that bag,
Which
had all the money in it.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I think it was $1 million.
Yeah, because he was trying, William H. Macy was trying to even scam his partners out of most of it, too.
Yeah, yeah.
So after Buscemi and Stormare do kidnap Bill Macy's wife and take her back to the agreed-upon location.
And by the way, her acting is great also.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I don't know who she is other than this film.
I don't think she was in.
She's local. She's actually the only one in the film who was born in Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
And only the first scene takes place in Fargo. The rest of it's
Right.
elsewhere.
I actually wrote it down. I said it's kind of funny because most of the film takes place in Brainerd,
Yeah.
which is in North Dakota. But the Coen brothers preferred the sound of Fargo for a title.
Fair enough.
They were thinking, like, we're going to call the movie Brainerd.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
not quite the same. In fact, none of the movie scenes, interior or exterior, were actually filmed in Fargo, which is interesting. But again, great title.
Yeah. That's another favorite sequence when Bill Macy goes ahead after his wife's been kidnapped and he goes to call his father-in-law. He practices sounding worked up before he picks
You know
up
what's
his
so
phone.
funny you bring that up? You know what I loved about it is they don't show that at first, which again is great for the Coen brothers. Like you hear it and you assume he's on the phone. Like they don't show it. Like you hear the voice before you see the scene, which is great the way it leads in. And you hear him saying I forget the father-in-law, Wade.
Yeah.
He's like, Wade, no, Wade, it's horrible. She's been taken. And then you realize, wait, he's not even talking
He
yet.
starts
He's
over.
practicing, even stammering.
He's-
And then when he talks to him, what's so funny is he's got it all set, and now he's ready to make the call. Do you remember what happens?
He calls and he gets the operator.
And the operator
yeah.
answers, and all of a sudden he's like, right back, hello, can I talk to Wade? All of a sudden he just gets right out of character. I thought that was again, another comedic scene, but it's real.
Yeah.
You know, that's the comedy that you find in real life, where you practice something, and then the person you're expecting to call doesn't answer the phone, and now you got to drop that whole tearful,
It also really adds another layer of exactly how scummy this guy is.
Oh, I know.
I genuinely, there are very few film characters I think I've disliked quite as much as this guy.
He is. Yeah, again, and you know him, and you've seen him in other films, so there's something that you kind of again. I felt like even though I've seen the film more than once, I still kind of wanted to find something redeeming about him, but there really is nothing. And again, I'm not even really sure, and it's not even really important, but I still don't even really know what motivates him. Is it his jealousy of his father? Is his feeling of ineptitude because his father-in-law because his father-in-law is so wealthy, and maybe he feels like he can never live up to that, and he wants to impress his wife. I don't really know, and not that it matters anyway.
No,
but there's nothing
I kind of feel like his motivation is the same as everyone else's. He just wants money.
Just greed.
Yeah, I think it's just greed.
Yeah.
And it really does backfire.
And his wife is actually so sweet too. He's really got a good life if he just would sort of accept
I
that.
feel bad too because they do have a son whose life is ruined by the end of this.
It's sad. He's kind of the forgotten character in this, and we talked about it earlier. He really, I feel the worst for him because he loses everybody in the film.
He's a victim for sure.
He's really a victim. Yeah.
The father-in-law also is another monkey wrench because even though he's the one who's supplying the money, due to really his own pride and his own
lack of confidence in his son-in-law.
Yeah, which is correct.
Yeah, he's
but
right.
He ends up strong-arming the hostage, the ransom situation, and it results in his own death. He goes to drop off the money instead of Bill Macy, and he ends up shot
sees
for
him.
it.
He's like, "Oh, well, come on, what is this?" He can't believe it. This is not part of the deal.
Yeah. So he's shot. Yes. But he nicks Buscemi.
He does.
That was pretty bloody.
That was bloody. That was probably the bloodiest scene. Yeah, and it looked the most real. I thought. Yeah.
And then they kill.
And then he kills the attendant at the
poor parking attendant.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with anything.
Nothing. No.
That's one thing that surprised me too. I think the amount of innocent bystanders that just get killed.
I know.
In this.
Yeah. But again, it's done in a realistic way. You could see how this really could unfold and how this really could spin out of control.
But and we talked about this before we started too. The film is preluded, I guess, by that this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Right. And apparently they've acknowledged that. I mean, there are some elements, but you could say that about almost any film. You could say any film is based on a true story because something's happened somewhere. but nothing in the story is really true.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually wrote that down too. I thought it was funny because there's a lot of films. There was only a couple of films that I found that actually did say based on a true story that weren't at all. And it's Fargo, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which again loosely based on Ed Gein and his crimes, but nothing like that. And the Blair Witch Project, of course, which again, but it got people into theaters.
It did.
You know, you'd think like, wow, this really happened.
Sometimes the gimmicks work.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and that's a good gimmick. That's a good way to get people in.
Yeah. One thing I thought that was interesting, I'm not a big crime movie fan in general. I feel like they tend to maybe romanticize the crime itself, or it just tends, I'm just not into the world. I'm not super interested. Yeah. I have the same relationship with crime movies, I think, that I do with some of like the more exploitive horror stuff, where I'm like, I just don't want to be in a room with this for 2 hours.
You almost feel like you need a shower afterwards.
Kind of, but
you know, that's always been the case, because even in the during the code era, you know, you couldn't have the criminals win.
Get away with it,
but they were still charming. You know, you had James Cagney. Yeah, he might die at the end, but
you kind of liked him.
He's likable, you know, and you sympathize with them. So they couldn't eliminate that completely. But now there's not even that necessarily. You know, they do get away with things. You know,
I don't necessarily think that somebody has to be like appropriately punished at the end, depending on if they've done bad things. But I do think that there's a fine line to walk when the movie is very much telling you like, don't do this really cool thing.
Yeah.
Like that's like the entirety of Scarface to me, where it's like, man, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
Up until it doesn't. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Don't do this really cool thing. That's a good way of putting it too.
But a lot of the mob movies that got big in the 70s, they suffered from that. The 90s was the crime era. You had guys like Tarantino, who I dislike strongly, and the Coens were others. There was a big crime movie swing in the early to mid 90s I think Fargo works for me as a crime film because of how funny it is.
Yeah. Most of the others don't really have that much humor. Moments, maybe again, but yeah, this is probably what would you even call it? Like dark comedy?
I've seen it done like called a dark comedy. I've seen it called a crime thriller.
Yeah. But you could probably call most lives a dark comedy, you know? Again, there are elements of both, you know?
It's not a detective story at all. Like the fact that you're not really interested in putting the puzzle together because you have it. Yeah, you have all the pieces at the beginning. Yeah. But you like Frances McDormand's Marge so much that you enjoy watching her put it together. Yeah, it's almost like Columbo.
Yeah. It's like an episode, right? Yeah. And you're rooting for her. I mean, so you are rooting for. And again, Steve Buscemi is not likable.
No,
not at all.
I do like watching him. There's something.
I do. Yeah, he's great.
It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah. No, he's a great actor. Yeah.
It's not about the crime, interestingly, though. Like I don't think this is a movie that's about the crime that's taking place. They're pretty vague on the details of the embezzling.
I mean, really, it's kind of it's almost a MacGuffin in this, you know? Even the money. Like, it's kind of who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. And it's not resolved at the end. And it doesn't really need to be.
I think it's mostly, it's
the people.
Yeah, it's characters.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's characters, And they're all, and again, the acting is great. Peter Stormare doesn't have that many lines, but just his faces, the way he's just staring and glaring, and the way he just turns his head and looks at Buscemi sometimes, like it's scary almost, you know? Like, oh boy, I would not want to be in the front seat with that guy. Yeah.
Well, you have that put together too. Like by the end of the film, when Stormare does kill Buscemi,
kind of explode,
yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I could have seen that coming. Like,
when you see him with the axe, that's almost like a horror movie.
When he comes out of the house with the axe, I legitimately, I got
it's
out of
so
the seat
quick,
for a second. I was like, Jeepers.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I know. It was well done.
It is.
And again, the acting across the board, top rate. Even the character, the scene, you know, which we've talked about before we started this with the Asian high school friend, Frances McDormand's character, Mike. Yeah, a scene that I kind of, it's cringy and you kind of almost feels unnecessary. But again, it's supposed to apparently what kind of helps her to realize like things aren't always what they seem. She thought she was feeling so much sympathy for this guy, and he made up the whole story about his wife dying, and and how could you make up a story about your wife, somebody else knows also from school, dying a horrible death from cancer, and then you find out wait, none of that was true. So then she has to second guess, like, wait, maybe I got to go question that salesman again, that car salesman. But anyway, but his acting too in that scene when he starts to break down, talking about his supposed wife dying, really really good acting. I was focusing on that when I watched it recently, and I said, wow, very good.
That's an uncomfortable scene to watch.
Oh yeah,
too, because like when he calls her, it's like midnight or something like that. Like and he calls her with really just like small talk. Like it's not. He's like, "Hey, I saw you on TV," and then it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's
so uncomfortable. And then when he tries to sit by her, remember? He's like, "Oh, I'll sit by you because it's easier to show." She's like, "No, sit back there." And she's so sweet that she even says, "This way I can see you better."
She's so polite. Yeah,
she's so sweet.
And the way that she does, that's Stephen Park, by the way, as Mike.
As Mike. Right.
And he was also in Do the Right Thing, and actually the recent film The French Dispatch.
Oh, okay. Good acting. He was great. The Coen brothers can bring out some really great performances.
One thing, and like you point out a couple times, how nice Marge is all the time. Early on, when they're in the car, she's in the car with her fellow officers. They're investigating the scene of the crime, the first one, and he points out the license plates on the car that we know are dealer plates.
Oh yeah, that was funny too. Another a realistic comedy, comedy moment.
And she is super sweet because what she could say is, "No, you're wrong." Like
duh.
She could really give it to him. And she just says, "I don't 100% agree with your detective work there." Like she's not.
She's so sweet about it.
But she's
like,
smart.
well, it could also be. She doesn't even say no. It's obviously dealer. She's like, well, it could also be dealer.
She's smart.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's a good one, Marge. Maybe you're right. Yeah. Yeah, she's so sweet. Such a likable character.
Yeah.
In a film with so many unlikable characters.
Her and her husband are kind of like the only two.
They
people
really
that
are
you really
decent
like.
people. Yeah, yeah. Because even like I said, even Stephen Park, not likable
Kinda
really.
creepy.
Yeah, kind of creepy. Yeah.
The final scene. So after Buscemi comes back to the
little cabin.
The other cabin where they're keeping the wife, is it Jean? Is her name?
Jean. Yeah.
He comes back wounded after having killed really the financer of the whole thing.
Yeah. And
finds that his partner has killed Jean. They're hostage.
And doesn't even care. Like
no she's
emotional. Like barely even notices.
That disturbed me more than anything else in the film. I think
he's
when
just
he comes
watching
back to
TV.
Yeah, he's watching TV. Her
and
body
in fact,
is still in the room.
He's watching Bruce Campbell on TV. If you watch the film and you happen to notice it's a soap opera, I'm not sure where it's from or when, but it's Bruce Campbell, and apparently that was his only appearance in an Oscar Best Picture nominated film. Imagine that. It says a small tiny thing on TV. I was happy to see him. Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, it's funny.
It took me a sec, because I wasn't... how often do you focus on
No, and then when you hear his voice, I did look twice, and I said, oh, it's actually Bruce Campbell.
But that's really the moment where the entire movie comes to a head. Like, the actual climax of the film doesn't even really involve Marge. It's Peter Stormare totally snapping, and after having just offed really their moneymaker, then he goes ahead and kills Buscemi.
Yeah.
And Marge comes upon the cabin and finds him stuffing what's left of Buscemi into a wood chipper.
And even that, again, is just, she's just crazy. And that, again, was realistic, because even when she's first yelling at him, but he doesn't hear her, which makes sense, right? And again, movies don't show that all the time, where, like, he's got the wood chipper right next to him, so he wouldn't hear her voice, and then he kind of senses her and turns, and,
Insanely gutsy move on her part, too.
Yeah. It's great. It's just great. Just reliving it now. It's a great scene. And then they're in the car, like you said, and she's just asking, like, why? Why would you do this,
Now, is this... I could be wrong. Is there... I think there's a line, I think it's Buscemi, that says, in about 30 minutes we'll wrap all this up. And there's exactly 30 minutes left
30-minute mark of the film.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, it marks it up. Yeah. It ends it, yeah.
Which I always enjoy when movies do stuff like that. I like the real-time aspect
me too.
of
I
it.
know, yeah. I was going to mention, too, it's so funny. I always watch the credits at the end.
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple things interesting in the credits here.
Okay.
For one, it says, let me find it real quick. Oh, yeah, if you look at the credits, I wanted to see where it was filmed. And it does show, it thanks the cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Edina, which they mention in the film. And they're all in Minnesota.
Oh.
So nothing is in North Dakota. So apparently nothing was filmed in Fargo, which again is funny. The other thing I thought was funny, if you look at the ending, this is something you just have to do for yourself. If you look at the end credits, you'll see a sign, a symbol, which is from Prince. And it'll say victim in field, and no name, but it's the symbol that Prince used. Remember Prince, the music artist, who's from Minneapolis.
Oh.
When he changed his name to a or to a symbol.
Uh-huh.
And but apparently that was just an inside joke done
Huh.
by the Coen brothers, and the storyboard artist, his name is J. Todd Anderson. He's actually the guy credited as the victim in the field. And I did look it up, and it said that in like DVD releases or whatever, it's changed to his name.
Okay, I
But it was
missed
trying to
that.
create mysteries because, the victim in the field, I was actually thinking, wait, it was that blonde guy. Remember that young blonde
Yeah,
guy? That's
yeah.
the victim in the field because you can see the characters around him, also his girlfriend mentioned and the cop. Like, wait, that guy did not look like Prince.
That's funny.
But apparently at the time, people were thinking, like, was Prince in that film? Because it was filmed in, Minnesota.
That's
Maybe he was in
funny.
it. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's just like an in-joke by the Coen brothers to entertain themselves, obviously.
I really do get the impression the Coen brothers are some of those directors really that I feel like they enjoyed what they made.
Yeah, and I think they enjoy film and they enjoy making films. It comes across.
So Fargo came at a good time for them too. They had the previous film was the Hudsucker Proxy, which
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Nah, I've never even seen it.
It
I didn't
did-
have any interest in it.
It did not. You were not alone. A lot of people said that it
Yeah.
did not do well.
Yeah.
So this really got them back in the game.
Yeah.
And after this one, they had another bunch of hits after this, and then their big one came in the early 2000s with No Country for Old Men,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I actually have yet to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to do that one day. We'll have to watch it together or apart and then review it.
Yeah. And I did mention too. Like, we were talking a little bit about trivia. When Peter Stormare and Stevie Buscemi get pulled over in the movie after they shot that, those two actually did get pulled over by an actual police in the same car.
Yeah.
And
that's funny.
they actually thought it had been staged.
It was a prank.
and
Yeah.
it was not.
It wasn't. That's really funny. Yeah, I wonder if Buscemi tried to offer the guy a bribe, like he did in the film.
I
That would've been
hope
really
not.
funny, yeah. I hope not either.
That
There was also to date William H. Macy's only Oscar-nominated performance.
I couldn't tell you a single other thing that I know I've seen him, but I looked
Yeah.
through his filmography and I'm like, I don't think I've seen anything
Well,
else
he
of
was
this
in
guy.
the Jurassic Park.
Oh, the third one.
Third one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him in a bunch of films, but it's funny because he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And he had that long-running series.
Oh,
I can't think of the name of it, but he was kind of a dirtbag in that too.
he was great though. Like,
Yeah,
a good performer.
he's a really good performer. Yeah.
The show you're looking for.
One word title.
He was in ER for a while.
Hmm.
Shameless. Is that what you're looking
Shameless.
for?
That's the
Mhm.
one. Yeah, yep. Also funny that it was. I saw that it was also filmed during a warm spell,
Oh.
which is funny. And there's a
Oh,
scene.
I did hear that. Yeah.
And a rare warm spell there. And it's funny. There's one scene I noticed when he talked again, just a brief throwaway scene, but when one of the cops, not even one of the main cops, goes to talk to some guy, and he's shoveling his walkway.
Mhm.
Do you remember that scene?
I
And
do.
It's
I
all
re-
like slush there.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's clearly melting and it's all wet, and yet they're wearing these like parkas,
Big,
with
heavy
the
coats.
with the hoods up, and I don't think they'd be doing that, and just not even steam coming out of their mouths,
Mhm.
So it had to be kind of warm that day.
They had to pipe in a lot of like fake snow in some of those
Yeah,
scenes too.
but you wouldn't think you'd have to do in that region.
Go figure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those things where it doesn't. I mean, I knew to look for it because I knew that I read that going in.
Yeah.
Afterwards, watching the movie, it's not something that makes a huge difference, which is nice. What do you think? Is it like your favorite scene going back into this rewatch?
Well, we mentioned it already. I thought that scene was really funny, and again, so realistic where he's practicing what to say when he makes the phone call. Because a lot of us have done that, not necessarily reporting a murder or a kidnapping, but other things, and you want to make sure you're going to sound just right. And he's trying to get it just perfect, and then he calls, and then it's not the person he's expecting to speak to. And I thought that was, again, very realistic scene, very realistic humor, and it was well done. But really, the whole movie is great. It's hard to even pick out a scene. It's almost like a horror film when Peter Stormare comes after him with the axe.
Yeah.
It goes right to oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
It's very interesting watching her kind of piece it together. And it's a quick movie. There's no wasted moments. Do you notice that?
It's tight.
I think it's a 2-hour movie, but it goes quick.
Yeah.
Is it 2 hours? I'm not even
I
sure.
don't think it's quite 2 hours.
Not
I want
quite.
to say like an hour 40, something
Yeah,
like that.
it goes quick. Again,
It's
very
fast.
few unnecessary scenes, except maybe again with the Asian classmate. But that is apparently sort of revelation for her.
I guess like that's the moment where she puts two and two together.
Yeah. Which I didn't get the first time I saw it either.
I
just
didn't
thought,
either.
why'd they even have that in there?
Yeah.
But
a lot of people say that, and actually, I think that's one of the scenes that people do seem to question the most. Like, why?
Yeah, why even throw that in there at all? Right. But if you realize how it helps her solve the crime, it makes sense.
Yeah, and either way, like.
And all the performances, again, even Mike, the classmate, every performance is good.
Yeah.
Rings true.
And a lot of those actors aren't even. A lot of them are not big names. Like the movie did not really rely on any like stunt casting.
Right.
That's pretty much just pure performers. And Frances McDormand, especially, was clearly like somebody the Coens liked.
Right.
Some directors just have actors they keep coming back to, and she seems like that was one of those.
Well,
cases.
when she won the Academy Award for that, she even joked about how it might help that I'm sleeping with the. With the director.
I did not hear that.
Oh yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah. Because they were married, and but Peter Stormare was not well known. Steve Buscemi maybe, probably the most well known in the film.
Maybe.
Even Frances McDormand wasn't really big. This movie really made her a star.
I think Buscemi ends up. And I feel like I said, I think he was in Con Air. He was in a couple. Yeah. Like that back half of the '90s into the 2000s. I think was his heyday.
Yeah. But some of the other
supporting
cast, like you said, Wade, also again very not likable, but well done.
And I don't, and I don't know if I've seen that guy before either.
No,
there's a lot of performances.
Yeah, and his, William H Macy's wife in that. I don't even know her name. She's also great. Doesn't have a really big part, but what she's in is very good. The son, even because child actors are tricky.
It's impactful.
And he has a scene where he's crying, even and I thought it's pretty good.
Yeah,
could have been cringy.
Kid actors can be tough.
Yeah.
What was interesting to me was going back, like watching this. This is a newer film for me because most of the stuff that I like is comfortably
black and white.
The 30s through the 80s are my favorite, and like especially the 80s. So usually by the time we hit 95, I've joked multiple times with my own family that 1994 was the last good year for movies. So I had never really had an interest in Fargo. I knew the poster. Actually, it's just been turned into a TV show too, I think.
Yeah.
Which I haven't looked into.
I did watch 1 or 2 episodes, I think, and it wasn't bad, but nothing necessarily from the film except for the title.
Well,
and the location.
Yeah, I've heard people say it was good. I don't know how much it's related to the movie.
Yeah.
It was interesting going into it too, like totally fresh. A lot of their films I have kind of like a preconceived notion going in. And the 90s is an era of film that actually I'm relatively unprepared. I don't really have a lot of notes going in. I was born in 2000, and so a lot of stuff was fresh when I was little.
Right.
But it wasn't stuff that I grew up watching.
No, you wouldn't watch those then, especially when you were little, yeah.
And my parents, the movies that I was shown as I was growing up were stuff that my parents grew up with, which they were already adults by the time the 90s rolled around. So that was kind of like a dead zone for me.
Right, yeah.
So
it just make you more curious about some of the other films you might have missed, or no?
Some. I have like a vague curiosity about some of them. I will say like there are some movies that I'm not really keen to revisit. I have seen some of like the crime films from that decade, and it's just not my genre. This was one of those exceptions to the rule. I enjoyed it. Probably not enough to go seek out similar stuff. Probably just more from these directors, but not necessarily more similar work.
Right.
It's not for everybody. Doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Did you ever see Miller's Crossing?
No. That's another big one.
Yeah, it was good too. I thought, again, well done. Yeah, you got to pick and choose, I guess. But most Coen Brothers films, again, different subject kind of, but we've talked about this before. Like it's kind of like M. Night Shyamalan. Not everything's a winner. Some are pretty bad even, but I like that he at least tries different things because today so many things are just copies or repeats or whatever. So I kind of feel the same way toward the Coen Brothers. Like they do try to do some different stories, or they'll look for, like this was an unusual story.
The 90s were an era of a little bit more experimentation. The 80s were they were a high concept decade, and they were playing to what was going to sell. Hey, what's going to make us money this year?
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah.
The 90s was kind of like a return almost more to what the 70s had been cooking up, which was a lot of experimental. Hey, let's try this. Let's see what works.
Right.
You have some of like the blockbusters, obviously, and like the
right.
big name comedies and action films. That's pretty much been a holdover. But
Yeah, those are almost guarantees. You know.
But the '90s was a big boom era for indie film.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call this exactly indie, but I'm glad I saw it. It's not something that I'm going to. I wouldn't say like this is like, oh, I gotta rewatch this soon. I think I could probably go a year or two without seeing this again. And I can't necessarily say that for the last two films we covered.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it again. I haven't seen it in years, and I watched it again yesterday, and I did enjoy it. It does. It compels you to, it's, to me anyway. It was hard to start watching it and say, yeah, I'll watch it again, or I've seen this already. Again, the performances I think are that good, and the story is compelling. Enough to enjoy.
I think the biggest thing is like I enjoy films where I can really get involved in a character, get invested. And as much as I liked the film, as much as I enjoyed being like the third person in a lot of these, because it's not a very personal film, and I think that's something that didn't alienate me, but definitely like I was watching a movie. I wasn't really as invested as I am in Casablanca or Jaws or in some movies that are my favorites of all time. It's because I feel like I'm in there with the character.
Right. Yeah.
Fargo's great.
Yeah.
Marge is great.
Yeah, she is.
The performances are all incredible, but it's not a fault of the film itself. It's just for me personally, this is not something that I'm like, you know what, this is a personal favorite of mine. This is something I see why people enjoy it. I definitely see why it's on the list it's on.
And you did enjoy it.
I did.
Yeah.
Probably like in my top 10 90s films. But again, that's for me personally, like it's kind of a dead decade. Like you got Jurassic Park and
it's not
Terminator 2. And
that big of an honor to be in the top 10.
No, I mean, there are some movies I really enjoy in that time, but there was like a little bit of a shift period.
Yeah.
And I think the early 2000s is worse in terms of film.
Yeah. And music. That's another subject, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go near that one.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of Fargo too, I also felt like didn't make a huge impression on me.
No, I didn't even really notice one.
Yeah.
Oh, a couple scenes. Yeah, you hear like just background music in the restaurants.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, but nothing. Yeah, nothing really big deal.
It's not a super special effect heavy film either. It's a quieter film, so they don't really have. It's a pretty low key in terms of the visuals. Like I said, some pretty camera work. A couple really good just shots that I sat and thought about for a minute or two.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, the bird's eye view, the snow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think snow plays well on film.
It does.
Blizzards, snowstorms.
Especially with all the blood.
Yeah, exactly. The contrast, red and white. Yeah. But it's really more of an actor-driven film.
It is.
And the performances were great.
It's a little. It feels insulting to call it a little film, but.
It is almost, though. I think it's certainly not a blockbuster.
No.
You know? I think that's maybe why it did so well also.
Could be, yeah. They didn't have as much money to make back.
Yeah.
Clearly it did well. It's very well thought of.
Yeah.
It's made its mark in terms of what is remembered. Like I said, I knew at least two big things about it going in.
Right.
I'm happy I saw it.
Good. Well, we'll have to do Raising Arizona one time, too, because we both love that film also.
Yeah, I think I like that one because I think, Nick Cage is kind of like... Nick Cage is kind of like Al Pacino. If we're 30 minutes in, he hasn't yelled once, this is a waste.
Yeah. But he was great in that, and I
He's
just
so
thought
funny.
That was a great. Well, we don't want to get too much into that. We should review that one, but that was a great film also.
Yeah.
I saw The Big Lebowski. I wasn't as moved by that, by the Coen brothers. This and Raising Arizona are probably two of my favorites.
Yeah, I saw this Raising Arizona and True Grit, which we talked about briefly before.
Maybe we can review the original. I don't know. I still think the original is better.
There are a lot of those where the original is considered better. I like parts of both.
Yeah.
And
well, we did say, and I think Haley Steinfeld was probably better.
Yeah. Well, and I do, either way, I do respect what the Coens do. I can at least tell when I'm watching one of their movies, I can definitely tell this is the Coens.
Yeah.
And that director thumbprint it's something that if they leave a positive impression, if you're sitting in a movie going, I'm happy that these are the guys that directed this movie, that's good. even if it's not your personal favorite.
Or even if it brings you into the theater still, because
Yeah.
I'll check it out because I have enjoyed some of their films.
Mm-hmm.
So if I see it's a Coen Brothers film, I'll at least I'll read the reviews or I'll read the synopsis.
So
It's not something like where I'll say, "Oh, I'm not going to go see that."
Yeah, I have some directors where I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to see that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel that way too. So
But I'm glad I saw it.
good. I'm glad. Can't think of anything else really to
Yeah,
add to it now.
I think we'll close it up and we'll flee the interview.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
sounds
thanks
good.
guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
We'll be back next time with another movie. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead and follow along. Come back for another episode. Hopefully, we
Yeah.
hope to see you guys again
Yeah,
soon.
leave a message. What film you'd like to hear us review?
Yeah.
Also, and go over.
Yeah, we like taking feedback. We've both seen a lot of movies, especially like pulling them together. But I'm sure there's stuff that neither of us have seen that we'd be interested in looking at.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next time.
Okay. Thanks.